forget, wherever you are, to like, comment, subscribe, follow, and leave a good review for the Spirit Pop Podcast. We're trying to grow out here. Gosh darn it, help us out if you can.
Well, Crystal.
Yes.
Do you know what time it is?
I hope it's time for Metaphysical Corner.
It's around the corner.
It is around the corner. I hope it's that time.
In the corner. It is time for Metaphysical Corner.
Fantastic. You know, I love this section most of all. I love every segment we do. I love having a conversation with my friend. But I do love this because we get to talk about the spiritual things. We get down into the energy of it, all the vibration and the frequency. So, what are we talking about today?
Let's talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4 Clairs.
Well, you're already wrong. There's more than 4. Let's talk about...
I thought there were 4. There are 6, 7, 8.
There are 6 Clairs, at least. There's a couple of other ones that are now kind of circulating in the New Age and spiritual circles.
You are going to teach me.
I am. I'm going to take you to school today, if that's okay, Bryan.
Please take me to school because I thought there were 4, and now I found out there were 6. I have failed the test, and I'm going to be retained and held back in class.
But let's talk about the primary 4 because there are primarily 4 Clairs.
Oh, that's what I was saying. You misunderstood me.
Is
I
that
was saying the primary are 4 Clairs. Crystal.
What are they?
Clairaudience.
That's 1.
Clairvoyance.
2.
Clairsentience.
3.
And claircognizance.
That is correct. Those are the primary 4. So let's break it all down. So Clair just means clear. That's what that means. So clairvoyance means to clearly see in the world of spirit. Clairaudience is to clearly hear in the world of spirit. Clairsentience is the ability to clearly feel in the world of spirit, and it's typically associated with body feeling, like feeling in your body what's happening outside in the world or in other people. And then there is claircognizance, which is spontaneous, clear knowing, like that eureka moment that you have sometimes. You just figured it all out. You don't know why, but you got it. That's claircognizance. Those are the primaries, but the 2 supplements that we should also address are clairgustance. Yeah.
God bless you.
Clairgustance.
I thought you sneezed. I'm sorry.
Which is the ability to taste in the world of spirit. I'm going to ask you so many questions about that. And also clairalience, which is the ability to smell in the world of spirit. Now, don't tell me, Bryan Fisher, that you have never caught an errant, fragrance of rose or maybe a fragrance of perfume.
A lot.
That's clairalience. Have you ever tasted something like a taste of iron or taste of blood or taste of dirt or a taste of chocolate chip cookies in your mouth that does not belong? That's clairgustance. Now, those 2 Clairs are typically associated with mediumship. It's typically a spirit that is giving you, yes, we're talking about it again. It is typically given by a spirit when they are trying to give you a message about themselves. Maybe it's your grandmother giving you the taste of chocolate chip cookies so that you remember her and think about her. Or maybe it's a spirit who has passed and you're tasting the blood in the mouth that they experienced when they passed. So those 2 Clairs are often associated with the spirit world.
That is utterly fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, I've experienced these things, but I never thought there was a Clair to it, I guess. I thought it was just sort of a spiritual occurrence that was happening, during meditating and kind of experiencing one of the Clairs. I just did not know that there were words for it. I am utterly fascinated.
Well, now you know. Today,
now I know.
You learned.
I learned.
Well, let's get back to the 4 primaries, though, which don't necessarily have to be associated with mediumship. So clairvoyance. Now, clairvoyance is to see into the world of spirit, and that typically happens in your third eye or in your inner vision, as opposed to seeing with your naked vision a spirit in the room or something that's going on in the world of spirit. But it can be both, because I've had both happen. Primarily, I see things, I'm very clairvoyant. Primarily, I see things with the function of my inner vision, my third eye, but often I will see an apparition, or I'll see a mist, or I'll see lights in my space, and that's all happening with my naked vision, which is also a kind of clairvoyance. So, are you clairvoyant?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know to what degree. I would say I have another Clair that's a little more dominant, if you will.
Which Clair is that?
That would be Clairaudience.
Clairaudience. I knew it because you led with it. That's why.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I do see a lot. Mm-hmm. But while I'm seeing, I am hearing. And there will be times like good case. I was driving to work one day and I was starting to zone out. And I heard my name very clearly, loud enough to catch my attention. I was listening to some music that I should not have been playing because it was very deeply meditative music. And I didn't realize that that's what I'd put on. And I was sort of trancing out.
Right.
And it's a good thing that the little voice said, Bryan. And it was my mother. At least it sounded like my mother to me because I was like, holy crap, I got to put the brakes on. I almost hit a car in front of me.
Wow. So that's definitely clairaudience.
But I see a lot. But I do see a lot. When I hear, it tends to be right when I'm getting into a deep meditative moment or when I'm getting ready to come out of one. But I mostly see.
Interesting. So
I'm sorry. I mostly hear. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mostly see. Wait a minute.
Good grief. Get it together.
We gotta edit that all out.
No, that's fine.
Edit.
You can do both though. They happen at the same time. They're simultaneous, right?
Well, they kind of do. But there are times when I will see, like if I'm talking with someone, I'll start getting images, and I don't know why. It's just coming. I'm not even in a space where I feel like I'm ready to receive that, but I'll get images, and I'm just like, oh, it's kind of random, and I'll just share with them, hey, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this, and it's generally something that pertains to them, but it's in deeply meditative moments when I'm going in, like when I'm starting to go deep, and when I'm starting to come out, I will hear a lot more.
Interesting. Yeah, so clairaudience tends to, there are so many clairaudient people that just don't realize that they're clairaudient, and what they're probably experiencing are tones, hums sometimes, especially like when you're starting to fall asleep, you might hear what sounds like music. And if you don't chase after it, because as soon as you go, oh my God, I hear music, it stops. But if you just kind of be present with the tone or the frequency or the music, it begins to expand and become a little bit more elaborate. I've been in a very tranced out state clairaudiently, just listening to beautiful choral arrangements and angels singing, I promise you, because when you tap into you're tapping into a dimension in the world of spirit, and that's probably the 5th dimension, or maybe it's the 7th dimension, which is the dimension of sound, and I can hear it. It starts though with a tone. It starts with just a little bit of a hum. Now, you may also hear voices. Maybe you're woken up at night by hearing voices. A few years ago, I was walking through my house and I heard plain as day my father, who's been deceased for 20 years, say, well, how are you doing? How are you doing, little girl? And I hadn't heard his voice in so long. And it struck me how much I had forgotten it until I heard it again. But I feel like that was happening. If Jeremy was home at the time, which he was not, I feel like he would have heard that too. It wasn't happening inside of me. It was happening in my environment. That is also clairaudient. And my mother was wildly clairaudient. She was always hearing the spirits, my friend. I would walk by her bedroom in the morning and she's still asleep. She's trying to stay asleep, but they were talking so loud. She was getting pissed off. She's like, less, softer. You're talking too loud. And they would also talk to her about make sure your will is updated. Are you paying your insurance? Make sure the property is okay. They would give her all of this information while she's trying to sleep. And there was nothing my mother prized more than sleep or her beauty, because she was very vain, not unlike me. She loved it. But she would have these conversations. She was so clairaudient. So I got some of that, I'm sure, from her. And my dad was also very clairvoyant. Now, I think the most common one I hear about is clairsentience, and being able to feel in your body energy from a place or energy from a person or even energy from a thing. So have you ever walked into a house and just felt like, ooh, this doesn't feel good. I'm getting anxiety. I've got a yucky, kind of heavy feeling.
Absolutely.
That's clairsentience.
I've picked that up more since I started doing Reiki. Mm-hmm. And I guess because I'm tuned more to energy, and it's so spot on with people. I know we're not really shaking hands that much because of, COVID, but get me around somebody and I feel the energy, and I know, and it's almost like a magnet. Either I feel a pull or like a pull towards me, or I feel a repel. And I am never wrong with the repels, ever.
Well, that's a spiritual gift. It's called the gift of discernment. And a lot of people have that gift through the instrument of their psychic body. Their body is psychic and they can absolutely feel it. Or you meet somebody and you know nothing about them, but you just know, oh, this is my real good friend. This is I feel like so familiar with this person. Yes, like I know this person on a heart and soul level.
Even
and
though I
can
stalked
feel
you
it.
lately. I did mildly stalk you on YouTube for a while.
I mean, I love it. I love that. So, but the interesting thing about, and it's so cool that you do Reiki, because the interesting thing about clairsentience is that most healers are clairsentients. Most clairsentients are also empaths. And an empath is essentially a highly sensitive person who just absorbs energy, feels energy, and can sometimes be overwhelmed and overcome by energy. When you go to a Walmart, right? Oh my God, I'm like,
That's why I don't like to go. Even to the grocery store.
Energetic first aid after I go to a Walmart. But that's because of empathy. And that's also kind of connected to clairsentience. So the fact that you're a Reiki healer is not a surprise to me because you're also clairsentient. Those things go hand in hand, interestingly. And then, of course, claircognizance. And claircognizance is, again, sudden knowing, but the way for me spiritually this shows up is channeling. Like spirit just drops down this package of information and energy and light, and I receive it immediately, and then it integrates and it expresses. Maybe it's a message for someone, or maybe it's just for me, like it's an adjustment or a download just for me. That's all happening. I'm doing this with my hands for those listening. I'm kind of in the area of my third eye and my crown chakra. That's all happening through this chute of this chakra chute or highway kind of right above the head. It's like they just deposit it right down and boom, you have everything that you need to do the thing. Or you have all the information that you need to understand the thing. And that happens through claircognizance.
That's wild. I don't know if I've ever experienced it like that at all. I think that's one.
You have, you've probably felt non-normative or anomalous tingles in the back of your neck or like in your head, like a gathering of information.
Always.
Yep, as you're getting in your crown.
And then my third eye it almost feels like a couple fingers are just tapping like around my third eye area. And I'm like, what is that?
That's you're receiving a download. Now, if you wanted to be intentional about it and work with your claircognizance, you would notice when that's happening and then open a space for that and just ask, what is this? What is this for? What do I need to understand with this? And then wait for spirit to give you that response. But a lot of what's given claircognitively is just energetic adjustments. Like you're now ready in your human life to hit another level, but you have to adjust the physical instrument in order to be on that level. So here's your download, here's your attunement, here's whatever you need to adjust. And that's all coming down this claircognitive chakra chute, if you will. Does that sound crazy? I'm sure it does.
No, I love it.
It is crazy.
No, it's awesome. Well, it's something that most people don't see. But now that you talk about it, now it makes sense of something that's been happening to people probably their whole lives. They just don't know what it is.
That's
now
right.
You know. You have now schooled the children.
Well, the thing that we have to remember in closing is that everybody has all the things. It's not just the gifted and talented out here, such as Bryan and myself, that have all the gifts. Like we've got all of the abilities. No. Everybody came into this world with access to everything, locked into all the grids of consciousness. You already have everything you need. It really is about adjusting yourself vibrationally in order for these lights, which are the clairs, to start coming on within the house that you are. And maybe the first light that comes on is clairvoyance. And the more you're working with your vibration and your connection, then the next light comes up and it's clairalience, or it's your mediumship, or it's your clairsentience. But it's all inside of you right now. Everybody is psychic. It's just about getting conscious to it. You dig?
You just got to wake up.
You dig. Okay, you dig. You do got to wake up.
Got to wake it up.